Our first race of the day then will be our Honda Cadet class. And, with such a big grid, we are once again running to a format of 3 out of 4 heats. On pole position, the 13 of Joshua Sullivan lines up alongside Max Greatrex, with George Ralston and Harris Ali on row 2, Bobby Pete and Freddie Lines on row 3. Row 4 will see Mason Webster alongside the 6 of Alex Lynn, with the top 10 completed by Danny Hall and Amy Peacock, Ralphie Branscombe and Sam Hayes on row number 6. Larry Price starts 13th alongside Freddie Housego, with Cameron Tipping and Jensen White on row 8, Rio Wardley and James Fabricius in 17th and 18th respectively. Max Housego and Max Wheatley start 19th and 20th, with Thomas Potter on the inside of row 11 alongside Joshua Owen. Max Gilman and Alfie Forrester are on row number 12. Stanley Clark, who went well in practice yesterday, starts 25th alongside Ethan Charles, Scarlett Percox, Jensen Mablethorpe and Isaac Huburn. All novice drivers, they start towards the tail of the field. It's a mixed grid here at Whilton Mill and for all of the CKC JKC Championship. So what that means is that all of our runners will get a start in the first third of the field. They'll also get one in the middle third and one in the back third, and their average positions are all kept to a similar amount. So for our Hondas, we're looking at an average starting position of around about P14. On pole there, we see the 13 of Joshua Sullivan. He'll start this one from P1, and then his remaining races, he'll be down in 26th and 16th respectively to give him his average starting position. So our Hondas making their way around this Whilton Mill circuit here. 1,200 metres in length is Whilton Mill. And they'll make their way around. Hondas will be making a standing start, as will our junior pro karts. All of our other classes will go from a rolling start. So keep an eye on the gantry when they come round. This is post 9, Marshall's post 9, with the infamous pit bend corner at the boot. There's P1 on the inside. Max Greatrex starts on the outside. So 2 orange coloured carts on the front row with George Ralston and Harris Ali. So helpers there out on the grid, just making sure everybody gets positioned up correctly. Just above there, the start line marshal holding the red flag is the gantry. Have a look, there's a digi flag on the right hand side. 2 red lights will go on there. When they extinguish, we'll be away and racing for the first time. 5 classes will be covered here then today at Whilton Mill for the Cadet and Junior Kart Championship. The first race of the day is about to be underway as the one of the crew from CKC make their way down, just making sure everybody is in the correct positions here at Whilton. And them tram lines that their Hondas are patiently waiting in, they'll be used to full effect later for our rolling start classes in Micromax, Minimax and Junior Rotax. It looks like we've got the go-ahead. We can't see the start line lights, but we'll see in a few moments' time. Everybody starts moving. We are away and racing as the midfield all chop across each other to try and get the optimum position round the first corner. And pole sitter Joshua Sullivan continues to lead away as they're 3 and 4 wide in the middle of the pack. Sam Hayes gets down the inside of the 2 of Mason Webster, and the long run down to Christmas Corner and the heavy braking zone. Can everybody get round here cleanly? Superb driving thus far by all our Hondas when there's 30 of you running down there. The practice sessions this morning, it was very, very slippy early on as we were subject to temperatures in the region of -4 last night. We all woke up this morning to the infield section, all very, very white as Amy Peacock, and that's a 54 of Bobby Pete, all sorting themselves out. And it looks like that's Larry Price down the inside as Ralphie Branscombe goes wide round the left-hander of Ozier's and opens the door, allows a few of them through. 7 minutes plus 1 lap for our Honda Cadet classes here at Whilton Mill, and the front 4 have started to spread out as the remaining pack have all battled their way round the first corner. Over the line then for the first time, your top 10, Sullivan, Greatrex, Ralston, Ali, Lynn, Peacock, Price, Pete Lines and James Fabricius already up inside the top 10. There he is in the 91 with Freddie Lines as well coming through, as they are now almost 4 wide. Thomas Potter in the 20, sliding down the inside of the 58 of Jensen White down there. Amy Peacock down the inside of Alex Lynn as the downhill heavy braking zone into Ashby's. Not only is it downhill, but it's also a little bit on camber as the actual corner is all the way downhill. this Whilton Mill circuit, despite the fact that you can only really see that elevation change downhill into Ashby's. It's because the run up to Christmas Corner is so long that you go all the way up the hill into that corner, and then right at the end there is quite a steep incline, more so, and then you run all the way back down the hill, and you go partly back up the hill as they come over the line once again. It looks like Max Greatrex sets the fastest lap of the race at the time there, and with a couple of positions. You have a look down the left side there. What happens is if a driver's made up a place in the previous lap, their colour goes green. As you can see, there's quite a lot of them going on down the bottom end. Then they go red if they've dropped a position. There's quite a lot of chopping and changing. Harris Alley in the 76, backing the pack up with Peacock, Lynn, Price and Bobby Pete, all nose to tail. And Harris Alley, notoriously difficult to overtake, but parks that kart perfectly where he needs to. But already, we're less than 3 minutes in, already defending venomously. And there is a train. Remember back in Formula One in the late 90s, early 2000s, the trolley train. Harris Alley's got a train of karts behind him, akin to that now, and Fabricius is in the middle of there. He's got past Bobby Pete as well. He's now up into 8th place. But the problem is now he's got a big pack of karts all being backed up together. The top two have bolted. They've gone. Only 3/10 between Sullivan and Greatrex. Greatrex is starting to close in on Joshua Sullivan out of the front. Then they've got 3 seconds back to George Ralston. And then this battle, which is 4th place, Harris Alley, as Amy Peacock goes down the inside. Alley's going to close the door. He gives her half a kart length, which is just enough for them all to live to fight another corner. Has that ruined Peacock's opportunity to get past through into Ashby's? As Fabricius comes through down the inside of Alex Lynn. Lynn's going to get hung out to dry there on the concrete rumble strip on the outside. And now it's not just 5 or 6 karts as well. Branscombe's in there. Down the inside, I think, of Larry Price. Thomas Potter's coming through. And Larry Price could lose 2 places here in one corner. Potter's going to hang on round the outside. And once again, though, Harris Alley still at the front of this pack, and what was 4 karts became 5 karts. It's almost going to be 10 or 11 now. Have a look in the background. You can see Ethan Charles is in there on the back of that. I think there was Sam Hayes as well. That's down in 12th. So we've got nearly 8 karts all being backed up here by Harris Alley as Fabricius tries to get to the inside of Amy Peacock. Has to close the doors to go around that little kink at Fine Lady. Peacock once again down the inside, and this time is through. There's a contact warning for her, though. And Fabricius gets through as well on Harris Alley. So they now have got the best part of 4 seconds to make up to our race leader. George Ralston in 3rd place could come under pressure because it's very, very likely that Fabricius and Peacock are going to try and work together to push through, although Fabricius already looking incredibly racy. Our one of the perennial front runners in our first round at Fullbeck was leading the final until halfway around the final lap, and where Harris Roberts made a fantastic move, and he gets the cutback on Amy Peacock, and he's through into 5th place. 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining now at the head of the pack here. Sullivan holds off, and he's opened up the gap actually from Greatrex as the 52 has a spin. That's Jensen Mablethorpe, one of our novice runners, though his actual lap times in practice this morning was sensational. Branscombe down the inside of Harris Alley, who's succumbed to those in front of him, is starting to drop back ever so slightly. Now, I don't think Thomas Potter's going to take too long before he slides and moves down. He's not shy of an overtake, and he's through down into Ashby's as well. There's still a train of karts, though. They're almost going to be 2 or 3 wide. Larry Price down the inside there, I think, of Bobby Peters. Max Wheatley picks up a contact warning. Sam Hayes is in the thick of it as well, holding off the 83 of Freddie Lines. There's a bit of a... Looks like Pete there went quite tight into that corner to hold off, and Sam Hayes has run slightly wide as Freddie Lines thought about going down the inside, but in the end he thought better of it. Personal best then from Greatrex, from Lynn and Bobby Pete as the drivers get themselves hooked up round the crook corner, trying to move away. And now this is where Fabricius and Peacock have both caught up to George Ralston. Fabricius is going to try and go round the outside and get the cutback, but in doing so left the door open for Amy Peacock and had to reassess. Not only was he attacking George Ralston, but he was beginning to defend as well from Amy Peacock, because he saw that the 17 had put the kart down the inside. Has another look down the inside of George Ralston, who's driving superbly. Now it looks like we've got some lap traffic, and Fabricius catches the back, and Peacock is round as well. Our 2 runners from 4th and 5th have spun, and they're going to fall all the way down the back behind the pack of the karts that they overtook 3 or 4 laps ago. Failing to get past the lap traffic cleanly there And they're going to have dropped, I think they'll drop all the way outside of the top 10. Freddie Lyons then now up into 10th. Gilman's up into 9th. Pete's 11th. Fabricius is 13th. Amy Peacock 15th. Couldn't find their way through the lap traffic. The lap time at the top, and look at this pack. This is all for race positions now. Been backed up in that thing. They're going to be 3 and 4 wide round as they head down towards Inkermans. This is that right flick. Jensen White gets through. As it looks like Max Wheatley in the 12 gets the cut back down the inside of Bobby Pete. The time has elapsed, so when they come round next time, they will see the last lap board, the final lap of this 1,200 metre Whilton Mill International Circuit, the first race of the day, setting the scene here for round 2 of the Cadet and Junior Kart Championship. And it's been action, certainly from the mid-pack, as they all fight their way through. Personal bests at the top, but the leaders now, looks like they're only going to be split by 2/10 as they go on to the final lap. Their nose to tail, you can just see them. There they are, heading up towards Christmas Corner for the final time, and Max Greatrex is all over the back of Joshua Sullivan. He took a 10th and a half, and there's Fabricius. The nose is off the cart and it's beached. The right rear up in the air, and James Fabricius, who went so well at the start of this race, is now pretty much heading towards retirement, and he's also going to pick up a penalty because the nose isn't attached to that cart either. Oh, it's not his nose, I'm told. That it's somebody else's under the front, under the rear of James Fabricius. Our leaders, though, go into the boot section for the final time, and there's a spinner in the middle of there. There would have been a yellow flag as they come towards the final corner. Round pit bend for the final time. The checkered flag flies, and heat 1 goes to Joshua Sullivan, holding off Max Greatrex, and Ethan Charles should pick up P3. Will he? No, it looks like it could be Thomas Potter on the line.